Gen Z lacks discipline. And by that, I mean, I believe that my generation, Gen Z, lacks guidance and we lack uh, familial attention. By this statement I've made, I believe this because recently, a couple of days ago, I was in my English class. We had a presentation about some stories we read, and we were presenting. It was in groups. Some people were by themselves, some people were with three or four people. I was in my group, and my group consisted of me and another person, and I usually have quite a lot of free time since I was able to finish my work a bit early for that time span we had to do this presentation for. And I was doing the work, and I finished all of the work. I finished the whole thing, and I was thinking to myself, okay, great. I finished all the work. I did all this stuff. It took me like an hour, maybe 2 hours to do it. And went to the teacher, and I was like, oh, I already finished project, blah blah blah. I finished it early, and then I came to the realization that I just did all this work, and my teammate did literally nothing. I mean, I won't lie. This is something that I believe was most likely my fault because I put in so much effort, and yeah, I didn't ask for anything back from my teammate. But at the same time, do we just lack the discipline and knowledge to just accept that we are a team and that we both need to put the same amount of effort? Because once the presentation day came, we had to put your names like on the slides you did. I put mine on mine, and then I put my teammate's name on his. I am the teacher about it, and I was like, do I have to put his name in there? All this stuff. And it was like, yeah, because he's a part of your team. And I was thinking to myself, so I'm rewarding somebody with a grade that they have put no effort, and at the most they'll do is speak 3 minutes about my presentation that I wrote. That is bullshit. I put in so much work, and I did all of this stuff for me, and my teammate ended up getting and reaping the rewards for it. And I feel like this speaks to society that as long as you kiss ass, or if you just get lucky, or if you just have privileges, you will get whatever you want. This is my sort of wake up call when I realized that I could just not do work, and if I have a good group, people that are actually functional and not pieces of shit that actually do something, then I can actually get somewhere in life. And I think that's disgusting that this is just how the world functions now, because that guy, yes, he did put in work for the class, but for that presentation he did like nothing. He was insignificant to the main and whole view of this whole project, group project, may I say. Sorry that I get a bit emotional and a bit off track, off topic by that, but once somebody was going up to their presentation, they were given the presentation. And the teacher gives feedback so we can understand and do edits to these projects and fix it up and get better grades for it. And this person kept repeating the statement, which is like something something something. I believe this story was trying to say whatever. And then she kept saying, oh, I see what you mean, but the story actually means whatever, whatever. And the student kept repeating himself over and over and over. And the teacher and this student were basically arguing for a solid 5 minutes because this person just wouldn't back down. I was told as a kid that you shouldn't talk back. I mean, for this instance, you could talk back and say, I'm not sure what you mean, could you explain it? But this person just was relentless and didn't really seem to understand that the teacher was trying to help them. Maybe this is their sort of way to defend themselves from feeling worse about themselves or feeling humiliated, which is fine, because I mean that was literally the last day of class. But this went on, and this made me realize that once I got home from school, that do we just lack discipline? Do we just lack examples in our lives that tell us that we must listen and that we must be able to take criticism, concise criticism, I think. No, constructive criticism. Sorry about that. And I think maybe it's just that we're just too emotional. But I'm not saying that's exactly a bad thing. I think that makes us human, and I feel like this might be something that the prior generations might have lacked, was being emotional and being very open, especially with the internet. You're able to post many things anonymous. whether it's on forums or just videos or posts on social media and stuff like that of the sort. And another reason why I do believe we sort of lack discipline is that we were given, I would say most of us were given almost everything that we wanted, but I think the one thing that we weren't able to achieve, no matter how much money it would have cost us or anything, is family time. I do believe that many of my generation, people who went to my schools and did the same education as me, may have found that their parents were quite busy and did not have enough time for themselves, spend time with their family because everything was getting a lot more expensive with inflation and the slowing rate of increased wages and all these kind of things that ended up making our lives quite harder. And it's a shame because spending time with the people, adult people, extended family is something that's really significant to our growth as adults. And yet sometimes some of us weren't able to get this sort of connection with them. And I'm not too sure this is just an experience of mine that I might be projecting as if it's everybody's in my generations. I'm sure it isn't, but I do believe that this might be one of the reasons why I believe I myself lack discipline. This is something that I'm trying to accept, that I do have flaws, and I don't want to be ignorant to my faults, because I know that they'll eventually come to bite me once I become older, and that they may affect my future quite viciously. But this is something that I just wanted to talk about because I believe that this is something of an issue that everybody's facing, and yet some people just now are just starting to realize that we as a society are sort of starting to fall apart and not stay as connected as we once were, even though we have the internet, we are more connected than ever, and yet everybody feels so distant, everyone feels so far. I guess you could say everybody feels detached from what their lives compared to other people's lives, and they don't take these things into consideration. And yeah, I think that's basically it. Just wanted to make this video because I thought that this is an issue that is starting to gain a bit of traction, and I hope that I could give my 2 cents about this, just because it's something that I've witnessed and experienced once I was younger. And I do think this is an issue that does need to be talked about and has to be addressed before it becomes too late and affects the future of this country. Thank you for watching.